with another girl I dated, Charlene, who I've met, and they merged together and became an oracle, one of the most magical oracles you could possibly imagine. And she leads an entire team of oracles. So, I mean, if the human race decides that they want world peace, there's like, you know, we have like 1,000 oracles ready to go, literally. So, and then on some of the homework, you're going to see a woman by the name of Lulu Mace, and she does Lilu's Juicy Living Tour. And I knew Lilu from the dimension that I came from. And I also met a couple of doppelgangers of Lilu here. More than a couple, I think 3. And then Charlene Eureka, I've met 2 of her, and as I said, she had merged with Lucy. And then there was another version of Charlene Eureka, and she became an angel, a beautiful angel. And then Lynette Kelly was a girl that I dated, a wonderful woman, and she was my attorney when I was trying to get a patent on my inventions. And I met 2 of her in the last dimension that I came from. And in this dimension, I met 3 of her, and one of Lynette Kelly merged with Lucy. And Lynette Kelly, she actually became a fairy, a true, real-life fairy, and I met her. And when I was dating Lynette, that was one of the things. When I was dating her, she used to talk about fairies, and it'd be like, I at the time, prior to making contact, or prior to knowingly making contact, she used to talk about these things, and I just, whatever. But, but when you actually meet a fairy in the physical, then you understand that yes, this consciousness is creative, and we create our own reality. And she became a beautiful fairy. Another girl that I dated was Helena Testament, and I knew one of her in the last dimension. She was my friend's girlfriend. And then in this dimension, I met 4 of her, and my girlfriend and I believe Sarah Palin had merged together. So I met 2 versions of Sarah Palin too. I'm not sure I have it on the list, but now you know. My Dr. Carrie Swigert, in the dimension I came from, I crushed my arm one time, and I got here, and here. She cut it open and took out all the crushed bone and put it in coral, and then my bone grew through the coral. And she's an orthopedic surgeon. Extremely, talk about a genius woman, incredibly genius. And Carrie Swigert, I met 2 Carrie Swigerts. They were twins, her doppelgangers were twins, and they're from the Pleiadian star system. And they're Pleiadian extraterrestrial. And I met them in the physical, here, on this planet, in this dimension, and they're here to help the human race expand consciousness. Teal Swan, and she is Indigo Child and extraterrestrial starseed, and I knew of her from the last dimension that I came from, but I never met her. But in this dimension, I did meet her in the physical. And when I first met her, I was just looking at her because I'm a follower of Teal, and she has really a lot of good things to say, and once in a while I'm directed towards her information to help me understand something. And when I met her here in this dimension, she knew who I was, and I kind of, I recognized her somehow, but I didn't know how I knew her. But then she asked me a few very simple questions about some very complex issues, and was able to extract information in regards to my level of consciousness about information of an extraterrestrial interdimensional nature. And the way she did it was really professional and intelligent and just incredible. Thank you, Teal, very much. And that was just an incredible. I mean, my life is full of incredible experiences, but my friend Paul Madonna, from the street I grew up on, I met two of Paul's here, and Paul was actually dating one of my ex-girlfriends in this physical dimension. And then another version of Paul became an extremely successful businessman. Brendan Rossi, I met another version of Brendan Rossi in this dimension, and then I projected my consciousness. Oh, actually, I projected my consciousness. I bilocated to another place in this dimension, on this planet, and I met him there. But that was actually, it's still this dimension. So it wasn't an interdimensional experience, it was a bilocation experience. And then Paul's mom, Mrs. Madonna, I met Mrs. Madonna once here too. That was at the School of Remembering. You meet everybody at the School of Remembering. Ray Rossi, that was Brendan's dad, my friend Brendan's dad. And Ray Rossi merged with one of my general foremen at the IBW, and I met him. But my foreman at the IBW and Mr. Rossi in the last dimension, they never knew each other. And Mr. Rossi had actually died in the last dimension. But in this dimension, he's merged with my foreman, and I met him. Ruth Citrone, she was a neighbor when I was growing up, and I met Ruth here. It was really nice to see Ruth. Ken Crom, one of my oldest friends, and his whole family is here. I saw Ken, his son Ken Jr., and Ken's mom is Juanita Crom, and I met 4 of her, and she becomes a magical angel, and I met one that's a sorceress, and she's so magical and loving, and really, really spectacular stuff. Susan became, well, actually I've met 3 versions of Susan. One became a sorceress, and I mentioned she merged with my uncle and became a sorceress. And then another version of Susan became like a biker chick angel, where she's an angel, but she dresses like a biker chick and got tattoos all over the place. And really a spectacular thing. I looked at her and it was just incredible. And then she just kind of gives me this look. She didn't say anything, but she just kind of gives me that that look like when I drink too much beers with her husband. But it was really nice to see Susan. And then Kathy is Ken Jr.'s godmother, and she's here, and she became an angel too. John Klimaszewski, from where I grew up, saw him here. Christine DiCaprio, as from when I grew up. Steve Dashikevich and Tony Dashikevich. I went to high school with them. They were in my class, and I was out in the middle of nowhere, and they drive right up. I'm not going to say too much more. Well, I could say more, but I'm not gonna. But they're here. Pretty much everybody. I mean, I'm only on the second page. I got a lot more. And then Marcus Barbie. When I was in Alaska, I made a friend, a really spectacular friend by the name of Marcus Barbie, and he works in the oil industry. And he wasn't, formally educated in the oil industry, but he's just one of those people that's so intelligent he doesn't need to go to school, and he just knows how to do everything. Just like really spectacularly intelligent and fun, and really a great guy. Well, I've seen 4 Marcuses here, and Marcus became, well, 1 became a sorcerer, 2 I believe were angels, and then he became also extraterrestrial. And it was really nice seeing Marcus again. Ray Boudelier, I saw him in another dimension, not this physical dimension, but I went to school with Ray Boudelier. And then Arnie Christian Rice, who was Marcus's roommate. I saw two Arnies, and Arnie, I believe he is part of the Hopi tribe, and then he's also became highly spiritual and like as a Native American Indian, and I met him. And then there's another version of him that I won't get into because it's very controversial. But Arnie Christian Rice is all over the place in different dimensions. When I was working as a realtor in Waterbury, I went out around to all these different real estate companies once I got my real estate license to apply. And then this one real estate agent by the name of Alice Ferraro from Ferraro and Ferraro Real Estate. I took an immediate liking to her, and at the time her procedures in the process of doing real estate were very controversial, and basically she scared me because how honest she was, and I was never really prepared for that level of honesty, but she was extremely courageous and extremely honest, and just incredible. And then in this dimension I met three different versions of Alice Ferraro, and one